Now, the German parliament has just voted unanimously to recognise the massacre of ethnic Yazidis in Iraq as genocide. Fighters from the so-called Islamic State massacred more than 1,000 Yazidis in northwestern Iraq in 2014. DW spoke with one Yazidi family who found refuge here in Germany.
Talal Slo is still shaken when he recounts the attack on his home village by the Islamic State. He is now in Germany, but lived in Iraq until 2014. That was the year when the Islamist militia conquered large parts of his homeland. Talal Slo and his family fell into IS captivity and were separated.
I asked, where is my father? Where is my uncle? One of the IS men said to me, we asked them several times if they would become Muslims or not, and your father and other men said no, so we shot them.
His father, like the rest of the family, belonged to the Yazidi ethnic religious minority. The IS brutally persecuted them because of their beliefs and traditions. The family used to live in the main settlement area of the Yazidis, Sinjar. It's also where Talal, his mother, and his sisters were held captive by the IS.
They beat us and gave us little to eat. They took our 4 sisters away and forced each of them to marry a member of the IS.
According to the UN, the IS has murdered more than 5,000 Yazidis and kidnapped over 7,000 women and children since 2014. To this day, thousands of Yazidi refugees live in camps in Iraq, although the IS is considered defeated. But their homeland still lacks basic infrastructure.
There is no water and no electricity. There are no hospitals or schools either.
Support from a country like Germany would help. Formal recognition would release government funding to help Yazidis rebuild their homes.
It is crucial for us that the Yazidis go back to these areas. If this does not happen, the IS will have achieved exactly what it wanted with its attack, which is to free this region of Yazidis.
In 2015, the Iraqi government paid the IS a ransom, and Talal and his remaining family were released and came to Germany. But even if the region recovers,
I do not want to go back to a country where I suffered so much.
For now, he has everything he needs here.
And we can speak now to Frank Schwabe. He's a member of parliament with the Social Democrats and is also on the Parliamentary Committee for Human Rights and Humanitarian Aid. Welcome to DW. Now, we know the German parliament has now voted to recognise the Yazidi massacre in Iraq as genocide. Can you tell us, please, why is it so important to get official recognition of these crimes?
You know, with this decision we cannot change the horrible history of the last years the people have to face. But I understand that's very important for them to get rid a little bit of that traumatized, to find a way for the future. And for sure it's very important to do everything, to speak about it, to document it, and at the end to take those one responsible who commit these horrible crimes.
You say it's important to speak about it, but I have to mention that the massacres, of course, we know happened in 2014. That's 9 years ago. Already 7 years ago, the UN was calling it genocide. Why is the German government only acting on this now?
I fully understand that this is too long for Yazidi community. I understand it. But you have to understand that in the German parliament it's not a common procedure to recognize genocides as genocides. We do it not very often, and it takes some time to discuss it. And at the end, that was an initiative by people in Germany. You know, we have a very big community, diaspora community in Germany, and they took the initiative last year, and finally it comes to the parliament, and now we can have this recognition.
So now it's been recognized. What does this ruling mean in concrete terms?
Finally, it means that we commit ourselves to deal with this question more than we maybe dealt till now. We have to do everything to give the Yazidi people the opportunity to go back to the areas where they come from. You know, 100,000 are still in refugee camps. We have to do everything to support international justice to take those one responsible who commit these crimes, and at the end you can put them to prison under different procedures than till now. So I think the question of genocide and the recognition of genocide is very important to deal with the question.
Okay, so you talk about helping those who want to go back, but in our report we just heard from a member of the Yazidi community who says he never wants to go back to the place where these awful things happen. So, you know, what about help for those people?
But, you know, there are different ideas about it. At the end, we cannot decide for those. I met a lot of different people. Some want to go back, some want to have another future in the region, and some want to go to Europe. And, you know, we had a program in the past to invite those people to come to Germany, and I think we have to proceed with this procedure. So if there is no future for them in the region, then we need a kind of program to help them to come to Germany or other countries all over the world.
Frank Schwabe from the Bundestag Committee on Human Rights and Humanitarian Aid, thank you so much for speaking to us here on DW.
Thank you.